Hey y'all, Julian here, also known as Bear Thrift Machine down here in South Carolina. Today, this is not going to be a what's sold video. It's going to be some stamping on Craftsman wrenches that if you're out thrifting or you see it on auctions or anywhere at all, these are the ones that on the actual wrenches, like this type of wrench, it not exactly like this, but this type of wrench, like I'm looking, and not ratchet, not sockets, but a wrench. Can be a combination or could be both box or something like that, that's fine. It's a combination wrench with an open and a closed end, but we're going to talk about these types of wrenches, and I'm going to show some pictures next to, in this area, and I'm going to show you which ones to look out for and the ones that are selling best for me. I am not an expert at all when it comes to this, but I can tell you which one sells the fastest for me. I have a lot of wrenches for sale, and the ones I'm going to tell you that are, sell the fastest, they do sell the fastest. A lot of these, I actually have all these in my inventory right now, and I only had one of the two that I'm going to show you in the beginning because they sell so fast. So let's go ahead and get started. I will also tell you the dates, the best of my knowledge that I found on Google, when these were actually, manufactured, so if you know they're vintage or not. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one is going to be forged in the United States. It has a V, and as you can see, this V will have two lines next to it, one on each side of the V, and right there that's a 1 1/4 combination wrench. But that's all it says, right? It just says forged in the United States and has a V and has two lines. It has no number, no part number, nothing like that actually on the wrench itself. This is the oldest wrench that I've ever found. This right here, the V with no numbers, can date back as the 1940s into the 1960s, and the next one I'm going to show you that I see also can go from the 1960s to the 1980s. But this one is an old wrench. If you find, like that one, you can tell is in decent condition. If you find a set of these, it doesn't matter if it looks like this or has two of these on it, or it's a flare wrench or flare nut wrench or anything like that. They are going to go for a good amount of money. People, they are sought after. Now, even if it's like, this is actually not that type of wrench, but even if it's not shiny like this, or it's got some, a little bit of condition issues, people will refinish them. So if you can get them for super cheap, I still don't like to pay more than 50 cents for a wrench when I'm buying in bulk. But if you can get them for cheap, even if they're not that great looking, somebody out there will refinish these because they're not making them anymore like they did. So in the 1940s, man, there's somebody out there looking for this wrench right now to finish an entire, set, and they're not out there. So when you see one with the V with the two lines, this is my most valuable. I get excited when I see this one because that stamping right there is like a little silver bar in my eyes, because they always go. This one I think I have listed for maybe 15 to 20 bucks because it is a big wrench. But even the small ones can go for $10 a piece online. So go ahead and definitely, this is your most one that you want to look for. The second one right here, this is a V, and see how it has one line on each side, and then it has a part number. When you're looking up wrenches for Craftsman, so easy. All you have to put in and is that part number. The only thing you have to watch is when you type in the part number, that's going to pull up every generation wrench that has that part number. So if this wrench right here was a 44582, but say it was a new 44582 that's made in China, it's also going to pull that up on eBay. You need to put the V either before or after it with a space, and then it will pull up the vintage ones. This is also vintage. Again, this is probably as late as 1991, but as early as the 1960s. Again, if you find a good one of these, always pick these up. You're always looking 10 to 20 bucks on just one. If you find a set of these, man, and if they're in good condition, that could be, a $100 bill or more, depends on what type of wrench it is, and they do sell very well online. The next one is hit or miss if it's vintage or not. This one, I believe, is... I'm sorry, also, all the ones I'm going over right now will say forged in the United States. This one right here is a double V. I don't find a lot of these for some reason, and these do sell pretty well online. Again, this is going to be, it's hit or miss because they started in 1990 as my research shows, but it goes all the way up until 2007. So they're 13 years old. I've only found them in really bad condition, and I think, I don't know quite yet, there's different fonts to different years. When I say fonts, some are bold, some are skinnier, and I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to find more research on that. When I find it, I'll tell y'all. But this one, I believe, is vintage because it's a thicker stamp. but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't put that in there if I don't know 100%. But the double V with the, again, one line on each side, they go really, really well online, so look out for these. The next one, this one I find the most. It is a V inverted V, and then it will have the serial number. Forged in the United States again. I will sell these if I have a decent large set of combination wrenches. This size, this is like a 1-incher. No, 1 1/8. If I have a 1 1/8 and go up with 4, I've sold them as high as $65 for the set, and I have sold an entire set for $115 maybe or $135. So these will go very quickly, and if you can get a set, they sell a lot better in sets than they do single, because these are kind of more readily available. They are from the 1990s to 2008. And I find these actually in the best condition, the V inverted V, but I find a lot of them. I have most of these in my inventory, and the ones in this set sell a lot faster, but I will still pick one of these up no matter, the size of, if I can get it for 50 cents or a quarter at a yard sale, or if I can buy something in bulk. I don't like to spend more than 50 cents for a wrench. I don't care if it's this size. I will try to talk people down, and because I'm going to buy stuff in bulk for 50 cents a wrench, so it all kind of equals out. And then this last one. This one is it's a DAB, and there's a whole bunch of variations here, but it still have a serial number on it. These are the ones that are going to be made. It's not going to say forged in the United States. They look a little bit different, and this one's a chrome one. It's not actually a satin one, so this one looks completely different. Again, it's by Craftsman, but there are some ones that are satin that looks just like those, but they do not say forged in the United States. They begin with a D or an S or something like that, and they are, I think they're made in China. I don't pick them up. Now this one right here, the only reason I own this one and I am selling it is because it has a ratchet on the end. And I'll do another video actually on the types of wrenches to look out for. This one has a ratchet on the end, so it is worth a little bit of money. I only pick them up, or I only sell them if they're included in a whole bunch of things, and I have a lot of them. I can sell them in a lot. Because you can go to the hardware store, you can go anywhere and pick these things up, no problem, for what I can sell it online. Because they're really not, they're still worth money because they're tools, but they're not worth like the ones with the V's and stuff like that. That was a really quick, simplistic way to explain this. Always remember V for vintage when it comes to these Craftsmans. It can have 1 V, 2 V's, inverted V's, it don't matter. And then when I get into talking about the sockets, they also have V's on sockets, and you find a set of V's on some sockets, you're really into some stuff, because they are hard to find. I've only found 2, and I've gone over thousands of sockets, and I've only found 2 because they're just hard to find, and people they don't get rid of them anymore. So when you're out there, again, V for vintage when it comes to Craftsman stamp. I hope you go out there and find these. They're also worth a whole bunch of money. If you can get them in sets, singles, it really doesn't matter. Just get them for the right price. Hopefully this is educational, and I'll catch you on the next one.